Welcome everyone to glorious Saffron Walden. I'm here in the market square. Look at it. Have a little turn around. Look at this. This is my hometown. This market square grew up in 1295, in the 1300s basically, when the little town down the road, Newport, they decided to move the market here to this basically little castle town. This is the town hall, dead centre of your screen. You can't miss it. Look. It's a beautiful little venue. We often get little gigs going on here and pantomimes at Christmas time, things like that. That's definitely one you want to see. If you can get inside, fantastic. And just to the right, over this side, there's a plaque where years ago a fella from Kent, Maidstone I believe, was burnt at the stake. Yeah, it's got some dark history, this place. John Newman was burnt from the stake here. Look at that, 31st of August 1555. That's rough going. Here's the old Barclays Bank building, which is now a very nice little posh lounge restaurant. This is our old department store. And then over this side, we've got our fantastic old library. If you do plan to visit Walden, you might need a little drink. Look, these still work, right in the middle of town. I'm going to show you around some of the nicest places here in our old town. There's lots to see. You can definitely do it in a day, but come along. It's a glorious day for it. We're going to wander through. Look at this old building. Look, this is fantastic. Our old Barclays Bank. Yeah, it's an old medieval town, so there's a lot to see. A lot of fantastic old buildings. So if you follow me this way, so if you're parking up in the town, head on here. You might want to park up down in the market square. There's an absolute ton to see in our little town. Got a lot of shops and cafes. If you head through either from the market into Rose and Crown Walk or from the Common, you can get to see this lovely little parade of shops. Being an old medieval town, we've got a fantastic church. There's a little castle as well, an old castle from Norman times that was literally built just after William the Conqueror hit the town. I don't know if he literally came here. First port of call for anyone here. If you park down at the Common, which is this old common piece of land, it's not a wreck. It's not a wreck ground. It can be used by anyone. Just need a little bit of notice. And we have things like fairs here, carnivals, circus, and also, at my favourite time of year, the fireworks. Heading down this way. At the moment, we've got a built up, brand new sandpit in the corner, so we've got a fake little beach. Look at this, eh? I'm moaning about this in nearly every video at the moment, but yeah, we're in a drought. There's a hosepipe ban. Tomorrow's 34 degrees. We're suffering here, but this is my beautiful town. We're going to head to the turf maze over this way. Yeah, like I said a minute ago, there already was a market in the area, but it was in a slightly bigger town called Newport, which is on the A11, on the old main road, which is actually an old Roman road. It goes all the way up to Norwich and slightly further. It's an absolutely perfect town to visit. If you're in the North Essex area, Saffron Walden, come and take a look. It's quite a big town. We've got a population of around 20,000 now. It just seems to keep growing and growing and growing. It feels bigger. This is the Saffron Walden turf maze. It's actually the oldest turf maze in England. It's about a mile long, and every so often they have to redress it. Now, yes, looks a bit barren, right? But as you approach, you can see all of the stonework here. And you have to follow each of the stone lines one by one, and eventually you'll make it round. This is the largest publicly owned turf maze in England. The date of the original cutting is unknown. In 1699, 15 shillings was paid for recutting the maze. It was also recut in 1828 and 1841. The maze is 35 metres in diameter and the path is 1,500 metres long. That's further than a mile, right? No, that's about a mile. Let's give it a go. made it. Did it. Guy was quicker than me, but we're in the middle. Yeah, if you're coming here with kids, families, well, I'm mid-40s, I can still make it quick enough. That was great fun. Top corner of the common near the museum and castle is actually a good map and good information on the grounds and excavations that were found. Something about the old turf maze, look at that. Fantastic. And then down the bottom here they've added a Saffron Walden World War II trail, in case you're interested. Now if you're in the town, make sure you visit the castle. It's fantastic, very old, very relic-y. Look at it. At the moment it's undergoing quite an extensive renovation. It's been going on for years. You used to be able to actually run around the inside in here, but no longer. Due to the age of it now and the extent of the fallen masonry that they've had to try and improve, it's no longer available and it's basically gated off. This whole area up by the castle is so peaceful. You can just have a little packed lunch and just sit down. Just next to it is the Walden Museum and my old tennis courts that I used to play on. This is the Saffron Walden Museum. Just check the prices. Adults are £5, concessions £2.50, under 18s are free, carers free, and pass holders are free. At the moment there's a VAT slip, so everyone's a little bit cheaper to come in, so bear that in mind when you visit. Got some free exhibits just outside here. A glacial erratic boulder. Wow. Okay, so these things I know about. These are boulders that were brought down by mountains in glaciers. Glaciers are so powerful with their ice. They carry so much sediment and so much rock that these things would have been brought down hillsides with them. Very close to the museum, literally the other side of the road, is the biggest parish church here in Essex, St Mary's Church. It's literally a stone's throw away. Now it's an absolute must to visit this church. Being the biggest in the parish, you must wander around the whole thing. It really is quite the sight, look. You can get the whole scope of the church in. Now that spire wasn't originally there. Quick fact for you, anyone that's visiting Saffron Walden most likely will have been to Cambridge as well. Now this was rebuilt by a master mason from King's College in Cambridge. Hence a similar architecture style. Cheers. Like most churches, if you can visit on a summer's day where you get the light beaming through the stained glass, it's fantastic. Saffron Walden is also very well known for its quaint little streets. Now, Castle Street is actually the outer bailey of the old castle, hence the name Castle Street. But if you get down here, take your time, have a good look round. Now, no visit to Walden is complete without popping over to the very attractive and very free entranced Bridge End Gardens. This is actually 7 gardens interlinking into one, all with a different theme, walled gardens, topiary types. And again, literally only a minute's walk from the church, past Castle Street. Despite its barren look and its drought conditions that we're living in at the moment, Bridge End Gardens is a must. It's beautiful. We've got an orchard here, rose garden, and in here is the creepiest figure I used to think existed on the planet. Look at this. This used to terrify me. Now, when I was a child, I used to roll down these banks. And I've taken my son here plenty of times. Down here, this fountain used to work. And I think it's not working anymore. Emergency! Fix the fountain! Another favourite spot of mine through this beautiful topiary, look at this. It's this very well hidden and beautiful oversight Victorian type staircase. This was actually put together in the 1800s by the Gibson family, these gardens. They're a famous family in the town, very rich, but we're very thankful for everything they've done. Look at this. Although a long way from my house, I spent many hours up here. You used to just be able to come in, the maze wasn't open, and they were building it, and it was so exciting just to wait for this maze. You'd peek over the fence and see the progress. It was tiny, because obviously it had to grow, because it's a hedge maze. Beautiful. Helicopter is trying to break the peace, the tranquility of this beautiful garden. Let's see what the excitement's all about. Bridge End Gardens, an absolute must visit for anyone. Doesn't matter what age, the kids can get lost. They can play a little bit of football over in the corner. We've even got a cricket pitch attached to it, and the Anglo-American playing fields with the football club is just next door. I mean, look at this. You can absolutely run round, head up there, get lost, hide from here, from your brother or your sister. It's a menacing grin, young man. But Bridge End Gardens, bring yourself a packed lunch. Come and get a little lost, and up this end you've got the lovely greenhouses. Oh, look at it. A couple of rascals here. Head up these stairs in the corner, well away from the Dutch garden, and you can enter the hedge maze. So Saffron Walden's famous for 2 mazes, a hedge maze and a turf maze. But the conifer bush is probably 7 to 8 foot tall, so you're not going to see around it. Don't cheat. Don't disappear through the little pieces. Look, they've taped off pieces that are struggling. Don't cheat and run through those. Which is probably going to take a couple of hours of your day up, to be fair, when you come down. Everything's interlinked. Everything is so nicely interlinked. Look at this area. The walled garden. The famous walled garden. Look at these amazing greenhouses. Not sure, it's 28 degrees. I'm not sure we're heading in there today. There's no plants anyway. They do allow you in. Wow, look at this. Not as warm as you think. What a lovely town Saffron Walden is. We've even got bees. Now you'll get a very similar feel if you head down to Audley End, which is where I'm going next. This time of the year, yeah, we're struggling, but normally beautiful. Look at that. Near this spot, William Campling, High Constable of Saffron Walden, was shot to death in November 1849, erected by his comrades. Wow! I've never seen that before. Pop your head into the beautiful 8 Bells if you can, right down by Bridge End Gardens. Beautiful Bridge Street. One of the oldest inhabited houses is up here. This is number 1 Middleton Place. It's the oldest inhabited building, or at least it's supposed to have been, from Saffron Walden's heyday. Look at that. Look at the medieval structure on it, dating back to the 1500s, and is apparently the most haunted building here. That used to be a youth hostel. And back in the day when I was a kid, that's probably the last building I'd want to step foot inside. The old youth hostel. the next street down before we head out of town is beautiful Freshwell Street. Look at this. They might look very cosy, but these houses, I've been in these, I've worked inside of these houses. They are very hard work, very pokey. Some of them are very well remade though, remodelled inside. This is the older part of town, just on the edge of the Old Bailey, at the bottom of Church Street and Castle Street. So pop down here, you can walk through to the duck pond and head yourself off to Audley End grounds. At the bottom of Freshwell Street is Swan Meadow. Swan Meadow's the car park, and wow, we've got no water whatsoever in the pond. This is our duck pond, our famous duck pond. Unfortunately, the ducks haven't got any water to enjoy. But Swan Meadow is where you probably want to come and park if you want to keep your car here for a good few hours. It's a huge car park right next to the golf club on the edge of the town. You'll have absolutely no trouble parking here in Swan Meadow, even when we got events on in the town. Even up at the Audley End, where we used to have the summer concerts. Not this year though. As soon as you leave Swan Meadow car park, you will have a town centre map. Good place to start. Just before you enter the town, you've got the King Edward almshouses. These originally were set up for 13 poor men to live in, and then actually became quite the charity. We have many new buildings built around of it, which are quite cheap to rent. These are the original almshouses. They're a beautiful sight though. I'm not sure that it's a separate charity anymore, but this is certainly run or in conjunction with our local council. What a fantastic place to retire. It's a lovely building. This is an archaeologist's absolute treasure trove when they found this. The amount of things that were found in this ditch. There's a fantastic illustration here. Look, this is the old outer part of the town. If you did want to invade our town, you'd have to get across here first and get down this 8-foot ditch. And if you did get in there and you managed to climb over the first one, you're still going to get up the second one. Wow. Yep, no missiles back then, just big ditches and hot oil thrown on you. Get rid of you. Standing on top of the first bit, there would have been to the left here an even taller wall that you'd have to get over. So this was the outer perimeter of the town once. Nearly fell over. Look at that, you'd have to climb up that, then up that, and then at the top of that would be people firing down on you. Not going to happen. Look at that, you can't get away from the architecture in this town. Even on the edge of the park, this is Audley End Park. This is actually owned by the Audley End estate, and the house is run by British Heritage. But this is all free to roam round. Yeah, got some painful memories here doing some cross-country runs. You will get absolutely lost in this area, left or right, and everything else in between. So the Audley End estate still owns a hell of a lot of the land around the area, which is often rented out to farmers and golf club and what have you. But this is a free accessible part that you can just wander around. Take your time though, it's huge. It's like Jurassic Park. That bit we get the Brachiosauruses down the bottom there. Bit of a shame, we used to play on this temple, so they're conserving it, which is a good thing. Now, as you turn around from the car park here in Audley End, you have to park on the top of the hill and walk down. Gorgeous day like today, not a problem. Look at the size of that. Let's get a little zoomed in shot for you.
Audley End House and Gardens is one of the finest Jacobean mansions in England, located near Saffron Walden. Here are key facts about the estate. Monastic origins. Built directly over the ruins of Walden Abbey, a medieval Benedictine monastery granted to Sir Thomas Audley by King Henry VIII in 1538. Although vast today, the property is roughly 1/3 of its original size after 18th century demolitions.
If you do visit, don't worry, you can take one of the little buggies, one of the golf carts that you run you up and down the hill. Those kids were just saying, could you imagine the size of the slip and slide we could have here? Good point. Wait, to think that was 2/3 bigger. That's 33% the size of what it used to be, that house. I'll take you to the front. Hopping back to Labyrinth quickly, that film by Jim Henson. This entire estate is walled by this incredible wall, well, held in by this incredible wall. Look at this, it just goes on and on and on. No, not that way. If she'd gone that way, she would have gone straight to the castle. Remember that little scene for Labyrinth? That little worm she speaks to lives in the wall. Might be in there, little fella. This home here was once owned by the gentleman that decided to build a little railway in his garden. That railway got a little bit bigger when he used the land next to it to form Audley End Miniature Railway. I'm going to show you. Over here is the Audley End Miniature Railway. It is fantastic. It's been there since I was a kid. It keeps evolving. It seems to get bigger and bigger. But every season, Easter, Christmas, Halloween, there's an event on. Busy at holiday time, that's for sure. Fantastic place for anyone here. Your kids love it, honestly. Come, there's a train coming. When you think of miniature railways, you don't quite expect that, do you? It's still quite a large engine. It's still got a lot of people to carry. Isn't that great? His name's Neville. The engine, not the driver. That place is forever expanding and always getting bigger. It's an absolute enterprise now, the Audley End Miniature Railway. I've just seen some sort of off-roading go-karts you can use as well. There's a fairy forest. Used to just be one ice cream van when I was a kid in the 80s. And down at Audley End here, look at this old Gothic-esque type bridge. Every so often someone will hit it and go straight through the edge. We'll have to rebuild it, but you can just see the mansion creeping out from the edge there. You can see the size and scope. So if this thing was 3 times larger back in Jacobean times, that is incredible. That would have been an absolute monster of a house, but well worth a visit. It's an absolute must down here at Audley End. You can spend pretty much the whole day. If you go in the house and you want to go to the railway after, it's a fair penny, but it's definitely worth it. Pack your bags, bring a little packed lunch, save a penny, head on down, Audley End. Like any good stately home, look, a very grand entrance. Though if you're coming by car, make sure you carry on up this hill and you'll find the car park up on the left, about half a mile. I'm trying for this not to become a vlog, but I'm so used to getting chatty to the camera rather than just showing you things and moving on. A nice bit of waffle in between, you know. But I've just met a good old mate, Martin Shaw. What a guy. He's the fella that you'll see with a big white hat on that guards the old guard outside of the Audley End Railway. What a gentleman. Just had a good chat and a handshake. There's one last thing I want to show you. We've also got a cinema here. When I was a kid it wasn't here, but they built the Saffron Screen and the Saffron Hall, which is a big arts venue. So if you want to come and see some good artists, musicians, Buddy Holly, things like that, you know, tributes, Aberracs, all of that stuff. It's up by the County High School. Let me show you where. Here by the amazing Saffron Walden County High School. I might be biased because I went there as a kid. Is your Saffron Hall and Saffron Screen. Can't miss it from the side of the road. Bit of a monster of a building. Keep finding big buildings here in Saffron Walden. But there's your Saffron Hall. Apparently the acoustics are crazy good in there. It's a really good atmosphere. That's my old school hall, but now a multi-purpose, fully fledged concert venue basically. And behind there, the actual main entrance to the school is your Saffron Screen, so you have to go through your main reception to go and watch a film. But that is a good tour of Saffron Walden. I've got Lionel Messi here. Hey Lionel Messi. Okay, that's crazy. I'm glad you can see. I hope you enjoyed the little tour of Saffron Walden. Definitely worth a good day of your little holiday. And anyway, onwards, upwards always. Me and Lionel Messi. Thanks for the lifts, Robin.